Today we're going to see how to make a narcissist leave you alone forever. I'm going to tell you all the details, all the secrets, so that you can stop being an interesting supplement for that narcissistic person who stalks you and who won't leave you in any way. I'll leave the best for last, along with my personal conclusion. Let's go there. Well, first of all, you have to accept the present reality. What does this mean, Gemma? Well, it means that in the end you have to assume that these kinds of people will never change. In the end, these cohabitations that last so many years, we come to the realization that these people are not going to be able to change, that this is their way of being, and that in the end to be with them is to continue wasting time, patience, money, and energy. So this person is never going to change. We must be willing to step out of denial. We need to be ready to abandon the deception, the magical thinking, and to start a path that at the beginning is hard, and we know it is going to be hard, a complicated path, but it is really worth it. To regain control of our person, of ourselves, to reconquer ourselves. It is important to begin to understand that, to assume the reality, to assume that it is not going to change, that we are not going to be able to change it, to cure it. This person cannot be cured. It's simply a personality trait. They are like this, and the reality is what it is, and it won't change. Okay, the second point is to commit to having no contact. This is very important, and I always know I say it, but it's true. Why? Well, because from there is when we start to see and understand a lot of things, because our mind is not continuously being manipulated. They're not constantly gaslighting us and distorting reality. From that point on, when we start to let our mind calm down a bit, thanks to that no contact, which is therapeutic in itself, we begin to notice the details, all the details and the things that this person has been weaving slowly over time. It doesn't matter whether it's been years, months, or centuries. There are a lot of covert manipulations so subtle that if we're not able to completely set aside that relationship, we won't be able to realize them in a proper conscious way. It's very easy to say, I know it's not so easy to do, but realize that these types of relationships create addiction due to that intermittent reward of now I give, now I take away. And once we accept this and know it's going to be hard, we must have complete will and be fully committed to having no contact. It's the only way to come out victorious from this battle, because it is indeed a battle. But you owe it to yourself. It's very important for you, for your well-being, and to reclaim your life. Money comes and goes, health comes and goes, but there is one thing that never returns, and that is time. Don't waste any more time and energy on that person who only serves to drain you, your life. So we need to overcome withdrawal. We know that we are going to generate some kind of withdrawal, as if it were substance abuse, something similar, because these are really powerful neurochemical connections in the brain that suddenly we are going to stop incorporating. This generates an abstinence. There is an abstinence of reward, of that reward that many times we had, even that tension that we always expected, but at the same time we are going to gain peace of mind. At the same time we are going to gain tranquility, peace, mental calmness. So it is very important to assume all this, to take it into account, because we know that it is going to come, and we know that it is going to be complicated. We are more prepared and with more resources to face everything that will come. Dealing with all the discomfort that this situation is going to cause us, we know that we are going to suffer. We know that we are going to feel bad. Pain, resignation, impotence, rage, sense of betrayal, to say, hey, I feel betrayed, guilt. There are a lot of feelings that are going to happen and that are normal in the transit of this situation, and even so we have to go through them in order to we have to go through them in order to grow, overcome, and move past this stage, leaving it behind. In the end, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger, as the saying goes, and here it is true that it is the same thing. And it is necessary for you and for your life to start respecting yourself now, and to start making a difference and say, well, we have come this far. I am not going to waste any more time. It is costly, it is hard, it is necessary. Besides, going back is not the solution, because every time we go back, it is not that we start from zero. It is that we start in a negative way. Because in addition to all this starting over, we add the feeling of having betrayed ourselves again, of having failed ourselves again. Then we start much lower. We continue with those things that we are going to do so that the narcissist leaves us alone forever. Well, once we have accepted the present reality and we have started to initiate zero contact, we have to take back our life. We have to take back our life, take back our power, and this means taking responsibility. Many times we take responsibility at work, even physical responsibility and even mental responsibility. And we do not assume the emotional responsibility. It is very important to assume the emotional responsibility, to understand that after so much time it is possible that you no longer know what you want or who you are or things. And from there is also work to be done to regain your control also in this facet of your life, to recover your power, to recover your capacity, to recover yourself in an emotional way, to recover that ground, to reconquer yourself in that ground, and maintain a good emotional hygiene there. We're going to create those limits. I know that I have pending the video of the limits. It arrives soon. Don't cease. Stay calm. Be patient, because I am doing it specifically aimed at narcissistic cases, that is, to establish boundaries with narcissistic individuals specifically. Also, you are not going to compromise yourself. You are not going to respond. You are not going to play in this way. You are not going to enter in their game. Forget about doing all of that. Stop indulging in those thoughts. And those temptations that will only lead you to fail again, forget about it when you start to think that it might be that such and such. Once we have initiated the zero contact, and in those first sensitive days when you get intrusive thoughts of, hey, what if I do this? And what if I do this? Forget about it. Go away. Don't answer. Don't engage. Don't play games. Don't bother saying anything. And what if I respond? And what if I clarify? They don't need to be answered. They don't need you to clarify anything. They don't need any answers because they already know. Because they already know the game they are playing, and they already know where you stand. Really, all they want to do is to get back at you. So if you give them the opportunity to keep in contact again, even if it's just for you to respond or react or whatever it is, or that was to clarify the situation, that is a very high risk for you, because you can fall for it again, so don't doubt it. Never again contact, never again engage or talk back or play games or be present. You are going to start owning your power. You are going to start taking responsibility for taking care of yourself and of yourself. And you are going to set the turning point here and now, and if you need extra support, here is the t-shirt too. The change starts today, so the same thing is to say here, the more support the better. And I made this shirt specifically thinking about that tough, complicated, but decisive moment, and at the same time so hopeful that it is the beginning of your new life again. So take advantage of it and start the next point. Notice that we are dealing with very important and powerful points. This point is very powerful, and the fourth is the penultimate one. Remember to join members to have access to all the valuable information. I have a self-esteem workshop that will boost that confidence to the maximum and make you as strong as possible in regards to, will make you as strong as possible in all these complicated situations that in the end are tests in life that life gives us to see how strong we are. So join me. How strong we are, so join members and have access to all that valuable information that will surely make you much stronger as a person. Much stronger as a person. The fourth point is to start making healing a priority. To make healing a priority, that is to say here, you know that you have to start a tortuous path at the beginning, very, very hopeful. And very motivating in a short time. That is, the first step is the most difficult, and then it works in a very motivating way. To make healing a priority, that is to say, I know that it is going to be difficult, it is complicated. I have a lot of information, so I have a lot of power. This is no longer like before that I started the path blindly. You are not going to start the path blindly. You are not going to start the path alone, because there is me and this channel supporting you from my videos from the distance. But in that presence that I want you to feel very close, because I really do it with all my priority and with all my strength and with all my passion, so that you really get it into your head. You really get it in your head. You know you can, and you can get it, and you can start your path, and that healing is a priority. Your life is a priority, and your happiness also, your happiness, your calm, and your tranquility, of course. You have to prioritize your own life unless you are a mother and you are raising a child. You have to prioritize your own life and really realize once and for all, take it upon yourself to integrate that. That these people have a parasitic lifestyle and that all they do is ride your coattails and continue to support themselves from you and keep on keeping themselves from you. So no, we have already left that aside. We have already established the zero contact. Now the priority is us. And so we start working on self-knowledge, self-esteem, self-confidence, self-esteem, security, confidence. Everything that is necessary to recover and rebuild that whole person, that strong and healthy person that you are. From there, we all have to start a path of healing, of progress, of recovery. And here it is very important to pay attention to the times, not to be in a hurry. Be patient, listen to yourself, understand yourself, support yourself, and realize that everything is little by little. Sometimes we think that we are not making any progress. And however, if we are always progressing as long as we are in zero contact, we are doing it every day you spend a battle won. So be very aware that there are bad days. But if you don't fall, it's not really a lost battle, it's one more point, it's a path, one more step on the ladder. Towards the success of reclaiming your own life, it is very important to seek healthy support systems, that is, to rely on all the support that you can find: family, trusted friends, anything that is not tainted on their part, and a very strong social network in this regard. And a social network very much in this sense, in the sense of family and friends. I am not talking about social networks as we know them today, but a solid, integral social support network. If you do not have a solid and integral social support network, it is very important to create one, to meet people who are really worthwhile and worthwhile. Create a network of mutual support is solid and lasting healthy that allows you to get out of this. And if you need professional help, I leave you the link again. So you can schedule directly online, but directly a session with me also to reinforce that support. In this path that at the beginning is complicated, and then I'm sure you will see how complicated and hard it is at the beginning, but it is worth it. And it is very worthwhile, this path, and it is a path that has to be done because we have already talked about the fact that going back and falling again, you know what it means. There is no option, really, there is no option to say that falling back would not be an option to take into account. Last point, the most important, I have left it here to finish this topic. I really want to leave a very clear and concise video. Very clear, very concise. I don't want to extend too much, and I want it to be very, 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 very revealing and very helpful for you. Watch it as many times as you need. Take notes. This last point is about cutting all the mutual ties. This means that you hear me because those mutual friends that I enjoyed, and I know this is hard. I know this is hard. And yet those mutual friends, because of their manipulative ability, can and will easily turn into flying monkeys, and the flying monkeys are those people that are going to come and talk to you about how good she is, how saintly she is, the poor look at her, she is there, such no. We don't need anyone to eat our heads off after we have established the oh-so-expensive zero contact, so one more step to respect ourselves and to validate ourselves and to put ourselves in our place once and for all is to break all of that. It's a vicious cycle in the end that is continuing to maintain that toxic relationship is following. The pattern continues to maintain that toxic climate so that if you think that you have some kind of contact that's still there hammering away with those messages, those calls, even those meetings, get rid of all of it because it's not going to let it move forward. They know very well what they have to touch, the keys they have to press, and the mutual friends they have to use to get to you, so eliminate that possibility as well so that it is not a risk it closes, that crack through which it can sneak in again, because it will surely do so. To continue maintaining friendships and mutual contacts is very complicated and counterproductive. It is not a good idea to continue in the toxic environment that we have generated, right? The best thing to do is to cut your losses and forget about it and go to look for healthier and more airy climates. You have to love yourself enough to walk away and leave it all behind, like when we say today, I'm done with this. I'm done with is it's like an ex-alcoholic still going to a bar. It's counterproductive, really, to keep us in the same climate in which we have been so far with this person is such a big risk that it's not worth it to keep on having. Keep in mind that when she can no longer control you, she will control or try to control the perception of others based on yourself or yourself. So that he or she will somehow slander you to make him or herself look like the poor, innocent, guilty victim. You know very well what's going on, and in the defamation campaign exists, and we have seen it. I leave you up here the video in case you haven't seen it yet. It is very important. You can continue to be absorbed there, defending yourself like a puppet, wasting your time, or you can slam the door and say today, I'm fed up with it, and I'm fed up with it, and I'm fed up with it, and I am done with it, and this is no more in my life. And really to take the firm decision to take care of yourself, to love yourself, and to get out of this vice circle completely. Well, as a final personal conclusion, I firmly believe that this is very important. All these points are very important and decisive at the time of a narcissist. A narcissistic person is no longer taken into account any longer. It is always very clear to him, although it is complicated, and I'm going to say it now also in the personal conclusion, because it is complicated, Gemma, because in spite of having it so clear and hitting them in the face with the door, they do not want to give up. Hey, well, because really these people at the end of the day, in the end, in their fantasy world, because it really is a fantasy world, they believe that you are their property. Firmly assume that you are their property, and as such you belong to them, and therefore they are never going to disappear from your life. You are their possession. From there on, you are you. It is only up to you to keep very clear and firm what it is that this zero contact has to be, because for them it is not going to be evidently when a person is perceiving whatever it is, she will never be willing to renounce to that usufruct whatever it is. That usufruct whatever it is true, because here the only thing left for you to do is the arduous task. To make that person see that if it is not for him, then it will be for you, but never again at this point. If you have come this far, I thank you for coming this far. Comment me, subscribe, share this valuable content with that person that is sure to be of great interest to you. Thanks for making it this far. See you.